Good afternoon, everybody. Stephen A. I don't know what to say. If I may, just press play. Bars. See, I can rap. The thing about Stephen A. is that he has the memory of a goldfish. And if you are going to play politician and run for office, like I think we all know he will, you better start remembering what you say. Because this most recent rhetoric around your three best players being white dudes on the Lakers, blah, blah, blah. I know that we have all been race baited to death by Stephen A, ESPN, Ryan Clark, Acho, whatever that dude's name is, Nacho, Cacho, the dude, the Joy Taylor guy, prominent race baiters, and this one, it takes the cake because, just last season, and this is where some of my frustration comes in. Just last season, the OKC Thunder were bringing home a chip, a championship for those who were not aware of what that stands for. They were bringing home a chip with, as fate would have it, 3 white dudes, quote unquote, on their roster, all who played pretty substantial minutes. I guess we'll start with the first white player, SGA. That's a joke. Hartenstein is the first that comes to mind. Premier big man for that team. Prominent, weird floater guy. Body in the paint. He's quick to elbow you. But those elbows, they'll get you. Look out. Alex Caruso, former champion if you count the bubble. Pretty sure he's white. Last time I checked, he's white. Chet Holmgren. Forgot about Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is what I would imagine Pumpkinhead looks like if he were human, or what any of the characters from Hey Arnold looked like when they grew up and became real, as opposed to animated characters. Chet Holmgren, if you go by Stephen A's metrics, is whiter than white. He's Colgate white, Crest white, insert whatever, racist vernacular you would like to add on to it. I just would like to remind everybody that the more attention we give this Stephen A gentleman, the worse it's gonna get. But the important thing, that we can do is just go back in time a little bit and look for any clip where he big upped the OKC Thunder on their championship run, or how he big upped OKC tearing themselves through the playoffs this most recent season. Pretty sure there were some white guys, quote unquote, on that roster. And lo and behold, Stephen A just kind of switches gears a little bit. Let me just read the quote directly from Stephen A's double downing of his original crazy ass statement. And of course, Emmanuel Acho finds himself in the middle of something yet again. I do think we need to do a change.org or some kind of coming together to get Acho off of media altogether. Anyways, and this is directly from Stephen A. I like Emmanuel Acho and I'm not offended. Everybody has a right to disagree, But what do you mean? I'm quick to bring up racism. I pride myself for being fair, Smith said. If something is racist, I'll call it that. And if something is not, there's countless times where evidence exists where I say, no, that does not apply here. It's real easy to jump on groupthink and this is exhausting. It's real easy to jump on groupthink and what's popular and that people are not going to push back on. Respectfully, brother, I think you're taking the easy way out with that one. Stephen A's got to go. I mean, that's the gist of it, right? Somebody who clearly has, like I said, political aspirations, obviously is thinking bigger picture, and he's intelligent enough to know that anytime you bring up race, it's going to be divisive, especially amongst Americans, the American people, those same idiots that you'll want their vote. So I guess now's the time to divide and conquer, as it were. The Lakers picking up Kessler, Walker Kessler, giving Austin Reeves basically a supermax deal. Obviously, you got Luka. Wasn't it just last season Austin Reeves was this perennial all-star, averaging like 27 points a game, this great trade piece, supposedly? Well, he's going to go to another team and they're going to give him the bag. Well, now the Lakers gave him the bag, and now he's being just reduced to being, white boy again. All right. I don't know much about Walker Kessler, so I don't want to speak on him too much. I like his name. That's a cool ass name. I will say that Walker Kessler definitely sounds like a professional wrestler or maybe a hitman. Either way, it's a dope name. I hope the best for him just based on that. Doncic, I mean, he's like, again, his race didn't matter until he got to the Lakers. Nobody gave a shit that he was white when he played in Dallas. And nobody should give a shit that he's white now. But, let Stephen A tell you there's no way the Lakers can do anything with that squad. But he was just kissing OKC's ass last year. And they had, like, Country Crocker white. And nobody gave a shit. I don't care. You shouldn't care. Nobody cares. It may not get whiter than Chet Holmgren if you go by these dated metrics, right? Anthony Caruso, former champion, 2-time champion if you count the bubble, champion and a half, right? Hartenstein. It doesn't, that's the most German name I've ever heard. I mean, what are we talking about here? And nobody gave a shit that they were white. And look, they bring home a whole championship. So what are we doing here? What are we talking about here? That's all. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Stephen A and his race baiting, his perpetual race card using with an unlimited balance. Fucking, I guess he gets bonus mileage or cash back using his race card. It's insane. I mean, we're bordering on the idea of separation of church and state here. Politics and sports don't mix at all. But race and sports, like, these conversations are hard enough. And when you're letting the two bleed into each other, now, when people are ready to kill each other, how do you think that's going to end? That's all. Deuces. Like, share, subscribe. Bars.